Have you always believed that the refrigerator is the safest place to store food? That you can just put it in there and everything will be fresh, safe, and ready for your next meal? That sounds reasonable, but the truth may surprise you, especially if you are over 60. Your body is no longer as healthy as it used to be. Your immune system is weakened, your digestive ability is reduced, and your body becomes more sensitive to small factors that seem harmless, like the way you store your daily food, and you may be doing it wrong without even knowing it. Many familiar foods, even healthy ones, when stored in the refrigerator, not only lose flavor and nutrition, but can also form harmful compounds. From soft potatoes to bland tomatoes, bitter garlic cloves to rock-hard bread, all can be the result of an unconscious habit, storing everything in the refrigerator. The problem isn't the fridge, it's that not all foods are suitable for refrigeration. And if you're a senior, understanding this is a simple but extremely effective way to protect your health, maintain your sense of taste, and enjoy your meals more fully every day. In today's video, I'll share which foods you should never put in the fridge, why it can be harmful, and what the right way to preserve them is. Simple, effective, and most suitable for the lifestyle of senior. Watch until the end, because you'll be surprised to realize you may have been making these mistakes for years without even knowing it. When we're young, our bodies are very good at adapting to small mistakes in eating or preserving food. But when we reach our 60s, things start to change, and seemingly small details can make a big difference. At this age, you need more from food, not just energy to live, but nutrients to maintain memory, strengthen immunity, improve digestion, and help the body fight chronic disease. Every meal is not just a meal to fill your stomach, but an opportunity to nourish and restore. So what happens if you accidentally destroy a large part of that nutritional value simply because of incorrect storage? When we store food in the wrong environment, in the wrong conditions, at the wrong time, such as putting foods in the refrigerator that should not be refrigerated, we not only reduce the flavor of the dish, but can also lose valuable nutrients. In some cases, we even create conditions for chemical reactions to produce toxic compounds that directly affect health. Therefore, understanding which foods should be refrigerated and which should not is extremely important. It is not a matter of being fussy, but of being proactive. Not because you're afraid, but because you deserve better, healthier, safer meals every day. Next, let's get to the nitty-gritty, the food groups you should never put in the fridge. And 1. Natural starches, potatoes and bread. Let's start with the seemingly harmless but most common food group to get wrong. Natural starches like potatoes and bread. Potatoes are a familiar ingredient in almost every kitchen, and many people have the habit of putting all the potatoes they buy straight into the refrigerator in the hope of keeping them fresh longer. But in fact, this is a serious mistake. When potatoes are kept in a cold environment, the starch inside begins to convert into sugar. It may not sound too worrying, but the actual consequences are different. When these potatoes are cooked at high temperatures, especially fried or baked, the newly formed sugars react to create acrylamide, a compound that has been warned can damage the nervous system and is linked to cancer risk. Not only that, the refrigerator is a place with high humidity, and that is the perfect condition for potatoes to become moldy, mushy, or sprout. For the elderly, sprouted or green potatoes contain solanine, a natural poison that can cause nausea, dizziness, and even neurological disorders if eaten in large enough quantities. Similarly, bread, which seems invincible in preservation, is a silent victim of the refrigerator. When exposed to low temperatures, the starch will crystallize, making it dry, hard, and losing its original fresh taste. Ironically, even though you want to preserve it longer, you are inadvertently shortening its shelf life. What is the solution? For potatoes, keep them in a cool, dry place and away from light, such as in a paper bag, a mesh basket, or a well-ventilated corner of the cupboard. Never store them with onions, because the gas from onions will accelerate the potatoes, spoil it. For bread, if you don't use it all within a few days, it is best to freeze it and only take out slices when needed. Reheat it, and you will have a new taste. 2. Cold-sensitive fruits. Tomatoes, avocados, bananas, melons. Next is a group of fruits that most people think should be refrigerated, but in fact, lose much of their nutritional value and flavor when put in the refrigerator too soon. First is tomatoes, a fruit that is often considered a vegetable, but is extremely sensitive to temperature. When tomatoes are refrigerated, the natural ripening process is stopped. The result is tomatoes that still look fresh on the outside, but are bland, spongy, and less sweet on the inside. Not only that, the cold also breaks down the cell structure, causing tomatoes to lose lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that can help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and prostate cancer, very important for the elderly. Avocados, a luxurious fruit for health, should not be refrigerated when raw. If you buy a hard avocado and put it in the fridge, you'll completely stop the natural ripening process, leaving it forever hard, or even rotten, without ever softening. The best way to ripen an avocado is to let it ripen slowly at room temperature. Once it's ripe, you can refrigerate it temporarily to keep it ripe for a day or two. Bananas are also often refrigerated incorrectly. When you put a banana in the fridge when it's still green or underripe, the outside will quickly turn black, but the inside won't be soft or sweet. That's because the process of converting starch to sugar in the banana is frozen by the cold. Want the right sweet banana? Leave them at room temperature, hang them if possible, and if you need to extend their shelf life, separate them to slow down the ripening process. Melons, like watermelon, cantaloupe, or honeydew melons, should also never be refrigerated uncut. Cold not only reduces the sweetness of melons, but also affects antioxidants such as beta-carotene, which helps protect skin, vision, and immunity. Melons should only be refrigerated after being cut, and should be tightly wrapped in a container or plastic wrap to prevent dehydration and flavor transfer. With this group of fruits, it is important to understand when to keep them. When raw or unripe, leave them out. When soft or cut, refrigerate, but only for a short time. 3. Fresh spices. Onions and garlic, two seemingly small ingredients that contribute to the basic flavor of a variety of dishes. However, they are extremely afraid of cold environments. When kept in the refrigerator, onions not only become soft and mushy, but also absorb odors from other foods, causing your dishes to have unpleasant odors. Moreover, the humidity in the refrigerator makes onions susceptible to mold or rot from the core. Worse still, when kept near potatoes, onions will spoil twice as fast due to the reaction with ethylene gas and moisture. Garlic is even more special. Refrigerated garlic is very easy to sprout, and sprouted garlic cloves not only taste bitter, but also lose most of their allicin, a compound that provides anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and blood pressure supporting properties, extremely necessary for the elderly. Garlic is also susceptible to mold if there is moisture, and if you are not careful, you can mistakenly use a spoiled type without realizing it. Solution: for both onions and garlic, keep them in a cool, dry place with good ventilation, like a mesh basket, paper bag, or a perforated ceramic jar. No need to be fancy, just avoid the fridge to preserve flavor and extend shelf life. 4. Good oils. Olive oil, especially extra virgin, should not be refrigerated for a simple reason: it will thicken, clump, and lose flavor. When exposed to low temperatures, olive oil becomes cloudy, waxy, and difficult to use. While it may return to normal after thawing, each change in quality gradually reduces it. Worse, refrigeration can create moisture inside the bottle, and with oil, even a little water can lead to off flavors, fermentation, or deterioration. For older adults who use olive oil to lower cholesterol, fight inflammation, and protect the heart, storing it incorrectly is inadvertently destroying their daily dose of natural medicine. The best way to store olive oil is to keep it in a cool place, away from direct light, like in a cupboard, in a dark drawer, and in a dark glass or stainless steel bottle that is impervious to light. As you can see, not all foods should be stored in the refrigerator. In fact, some foods, when refrigerated, not only lose their flavor and nutrients, but can also create compounds that pose health risks, especially for the elderly. From soft, toxic potatoes, tomatoes that have lost all their lycopene, unripe bananas with black skins, to sprouted garlic cloves and dry, brick-hard bread, all can be the direct result of a common but mistaken action: storing the wrong food in the refrigerator. The point here is not just about food knowledge, It is about an attitude towards life. When you understand what to do and what to avoid when it comes to food storage, you are proactively taking care of your health. Every day, every meal. For the elderly, this change is even more meaningful. It doesn't cost extra money. It doesn't require complicated technology. Just change the way you organize your kitchen. So if you find something useful today, start with the simplest thing. Check your refrigerator. And if you find this content valuable, don't hesitate to like, share it with your loved ones, and comment below. No fridge mistakes to change your habits together for better, healthier, and safer meals every day.